That bottle of extra virgin olive oil sitting in your kitchen right now, there's a real chance it isn't extra virgin at all. Independent lab testing has failed some of the biggest brands on the shelf, and the companies behind them know exactly what they're selling you. They're counting on you never finding out. So today, I'm giving you 5 olive oil brands to put back on the shelf, and 3 you should actually be buying instead. 1. Bertolli Bertolli is probably the first olive oil brand you ever bought. It's everywhere. The bottle looks classic, and the name sounds like it came straight off a Tuscan hillside. But here's the problem. When independent researchers tested major supermarket olive oils, Bertolli was one of the brands that failed to meet the standard for extra virgin. The label said one thing, the oil in the bottle said another. 2. Filippo Berio. Filippo Berio sells you Italy. The name, the signature on the label, the whole old world story. And it works. Most people grab it believing they're getting genuine Italian olive oil from Italian groves. But look closer at the bottle. It says, imported from Italy. It does not say the olives were grown there. That's not an accident. That's careful wording. Here's how the game works. A company can buy bulk oil from Spain, Tunisia, Greece, wherever it's cheapest that season, ship it to Italy, blend it, bottle it, and slap imported from Italy on the front. Legally, that's true. The bottle did come from Italy. The oil didn't. And US labeling rules let them do it because nobody requires a brand to tell you where the olives were actually grown. The loophole is the business model. The Italian image lets them charge Italian prices for mystery blend oil. What does that cost you? Control. When you don't know where your oil comes from, you don't know how old it is, how it was handled, or what got mixed in along the way. You're paying a premium for a flag, not for quality. If a bottle won't name a region or a farm, it's hiding something. Skip it. 3. Pompeian. Pompeian markets itself as the smart, trustworthy choice. They even put a farmer-owned line on the label. And to be fair, it's one of the best-selling olive oils in America. But that's exactly the problem. Think about the math for a second. Pompeian moves an enormous amount of oil at one of the lowest prices in the category. Genuine, fresh, carefully made olive oil cannot exist at that scale and that price at the same time. Here's why. Real quality olive oil is a slow, expensive product. Olives have to be picked at peak ripeness and pressed within hours because they start degrading the moment they leave the tree. A single grove only produces so much. Now imagine filling millions of bottles a year for every grocery store in the country. To hit that volume, you're sourcing from a massive web of suppliers across multiple countries, buying whatever's available, and blending it all into one consistent product. Consistency at that scale means averaging good oil down with mediocre oil every single time. So when you grab that big bottle because it feels like a deal, understand what you're actually getting, the floor, not the ceiling. The lowest common denominator of the global oil market in a pretty bottle. A deal on something watered down isn't a deal. 4. Calavita. Calavita has a better reputation than most brands on this list, and honestly, some of their oil starts out decent. The problem isn't what goes into the bottle, it's the bottle itself. Pick one up next time you're at the store. Clear glass. And that clear glass is quietly destroying the oil before you ever twist the cap off. Here's the mechanism. Light is one of olive oil's worst enemies. When light hits the oil, especially the fluorescent lighting that blasts grocery shelves 12 hours a day, it triggers a chemical reaction that breaks down the oil and destroys the delicate compounds that make extra virgin worth buying. Researchers have shown oil in clear bottles can degrade significantly within months. Now think about the timeline. That bottle was filled, shipped across an ocean, sat in a warehouse, then sat under store lights for who knows how long. Every day in clear glass, it's getting worse. That's why serious producers use dark glass or tins. It's not decoration, it's protection. So what's it costing you? Freshness you paid for and never received. The oil might have been good when it was bottled, but you're not buying it when it was bottled. You're buying it at the end of a long, bright journey. Dark glass or nothing. 5. Store brands great value. The standard Kirkland bottle, the supermarket house labels, I know these feel like the sensible choice. Same words on the label. Half the price, why pay more? But with olive oil, the price tag is the tell. Run the numbers and the story falls apart fast. Producing real extra virgin olive oil has a hard floor on cost. It takes roughly 5 kilograms of olives to make a single liter of oil. Add harvesting, pressing within hours, storage, bottling, and shipping, and there's a minimum price below which honest oil simply can't exist. The cheapest store brands sell below or right at that floor, and then the store still takes its cut and the bottler takes theirs. Something in that chain has to give, and it's never the profit margin, it's the oil. That price point gets hit with old harvests, lower grades, or blends stretched with cheaper oil that never sees a label disclosure. Here's what that means for you. You think you're saving $5, what you're actually doing is paying real money for an oil that delivers almost none of what you bought it for. Cheap olive oil isn't a bargain. It's just expensive seed oil with better branding. Now that you know which ones to put back on the shelf, let's talk about what you should actually be grabbing instead. And the good news is, these aren't hard to find. Now that you know which ones to put back on the shelf, let's talk about what you should actually be grabbing instead. And the good news is, these aren't hard to find. 1. California Olive Ranch. The single most important thing California Olive Ranch does is right there in the name. The 100% California line is grown, pressed, and bottled in one place, and they tell you exactly where. No ocean crossing, no mystery blending, no imported from word games. One origin, fully traceable. Why does that matter so much? Because distance is where olive oil quality goes to die. Every step between the tree and your bottle, every middleman, every warehouse, every month in transit is a chance for the oil to age, oxidize, and lose the compounds you're buying it for. When the entire supply chain sits inside one state, the oil goes from harvest to bottle fast, and there's nowhere for funny business to hide. On top of that, their oils carry certification from the California Olive Oil Council, which holds a stricter standard for extra virgin than the loose rules most imports skate by on. They're tested. Most shelf brands aren't. You'll find it at almost every major grocery store. Kroger, Target, Walmart, you name it. Expect to pay a few dollars more than the budget bottles, usually somewhere in the low teens. Just double check the label says 100% California, because they also sell a blended global line. Grab the California one. It's the easiest upgrade in the store. 2. Cobram Estate. The first thing to know about Cobram Estate is that they print the harvest date on every single bottle. Not a vague best by date 2 years out, the actual season the olives came off the tree. Almost no mainstream brand will do that, and there's a reason. Most of them can't. Here's why that one detail tells you everything. Olive oil isn't like wine. It doesn't age well, it ages badly from day one. The fresh pressed oil is loaded with the healthy fats and natural defenders that protect your heart and fight inflammation, and those start fading the moment the oil is made. A best by date hides the oil's real age. A harvest date exposes it. So when a brand volunteers that information, they're telling you they have nothing to hide, and Cobram backs it up, taking top marks in independent quality testing year after year. Their oils are grown on their own groves, pressed within hours of picking, and sealed in dark bottles that block the light damage we talked about earlier. You'll find it at most big grocery chains and online, usually in the $10 to $15 range. Flip the bottle, find the harvest date, and buy the most recent one. From now on, no date, no sale. 3. Graza does one thing nobody else on the shelf does. It tells you the exact olive in the bottle. Every drop is a single variety called Picual, grown in one region of Spain from groves they name. Not a blend, not a secret recipe. One olive, one place, full stop. Here's why single varietal matters. Blended oils exist to smooth out problems. Mix enough sources together and you can hide old oil, weak harvests, and off flavors inside the average. A single varietal oil can't hide anything. If the olives are bad, the oil is bad, and everyone knows it. So the producer has no choice but to get it right. And Pequol specifically is one of the most stable olive varieties on Earth, naturally high in the protective compounds that keep oil fresh longer and do the most good for your body. Even the squeeze bottle is doing a job. It's opaque, so light never touches the oil, and it lets you control your pour instead of glugging half a cup into the pan. Graza sells 2 bottles, Sizzle for cooking, Drizzle for finishing. You'll find them at Target, Whole Foods, and most major chains now, usually under $15. Start with Sizzle. It'll change how your everyday cooking tastes. 5 bottles off your list, 3 real ones to replace them. If this helped, send it to someone who's still grabbing the clear glass bottle every week. I'll see you in the next one.